Coach Lester coming off a thrilling, long 71-68, 7 overtime win at Buffalo. Longest game, tied for longest game in FBS history. Most points scored total by two teams in FBS history. Just talk about being a part of that game.
Yeah, I thought, I didn't know it was 7 overtimes. I really thought it was about 5. Once you get into the 2-point play world, you stop counting, But I thought our guys fought. I thought we came out early, made a couple big plays. Bellamy had a big run. We missed tons of opportunities to not have to go to overtime, and had some good, some bad guys banged up. A lot of guys had to play. And, unfortunately, having to go to overtime, it was a good test for us. I don't think we played our best football at all, but we found a way to win. And that was what I told them afterwards. I said, hey, there's nothing better than watching a ton of film with a ton of corrections and having a W next to your name while you're doing that, And so it was a fun game. It was an exciting game. I was proud of a lot of different individual efforts, a ton of things to fix, and but proud we got the victory.
Coach, you prepare for phases of the game, the opening drive,
Yeah.
unit drill, overtime. I know you prepared for, but 7 overtimes. How do you adjust on the fly, and what's that like going through that?
That's a great question because we prepare for situations all year round, and you probably like 3 or 4 happen in a year. And we had like 12 happen in just that game. We normally have 2-point plays ready. We blew through those quick, and most of the conversation on the headset was about 2-point plays. Is what's our next one? With four downs, when a team scores with 4 downs to get 10 yards, it's not that hard. It's not as hard as you would think because you don't have the option of kicking a field goal. So, there's a higher percentage chance of scoring. It's harder to figure out how you're going to get that 2-point conversion for whatever reason. So we spent a ton of time talking about 2-point plays. Which of our tight red zone package would be a good 2-point play. We practice plenty of plays inside the 5, but you have the 2 designed ones, and so did they, I'm sure, because they ran the same darn one we ran right after us, which was a great call, I thought, by them. I kind of tipped my cap to them, and then we used timeouts. I mean, we had one. I tried to call timeout for a 1-2-point play where if our defense stopped and we won the game. Coach Leopold, he called it before I did, so we brought him to the sideline, told him to line up in a whatever defense he wanted to so they could look at our defense, and I was going to use the other timeout, so we lined up in some random defense on purpose. I've never used timeouts on 2-point plays, just to see how they line up, and so it was definitely some uncharted water that way. But when you do as much situational work, I thought that the sideline was great, and the coaches talked through all the things as they were coming, and they did a really good job.
Coach, I know you're a Bears fan. I don't know if you got to see last night's Monday Night Football. Bears had a 2-point conversion that looks like they just
sweet. Yes.
At what point did your staff just go to X's and O's, just drawing stuff?
Start drawing stuff, and like in the you be the bottle cap, I'll be the rock, and go. Yeah, it was getting to that point. Luckily, we still had stuff in our package. I did see that play. I did write it down. The first text I got on Monday morning from Coach Johns was, "You have any 2-point plays?" And I said yes. So we sat down because, the great thing about it is when you have plays like that, you rep them and you don't use them every week. We kind of talking about running Darius on offense. We have the plays in. We didn't use it. We add more. So you have it in week after week. Well, now we've used them, so now we have to recycle and get some more. And so we already started conversations yesterday about making sure we have. I don't know if we'll have another 7 overtime game, but making sure you have them because they can be huge, and obviously they were this weekend.
Speaking of the areas, with Sam going down pretty early in the game, obviously we got worked over pretty good. Mm-hmm. But can you talk about where you're at with cornerbacks at this point?
They're all banged up. I mean, we lost Darius for a little bit of time in the third quarter too because he had to go get an X-ray, and so we started the third quarter without either one of them on the field, and offensively we used Darius twice, for decoys because Sam got hurt, and we wanted to show him out there, but we didn't want to kill him because we knew he was going to have to play a ton of defense, because that's his job. That's what we want him to do. But they're both doing good. They're both healthy. They practiced today. they're not cleared yet by any means, but nothing, no major injury there. That was our biggest concern, and luckily we got the X-rays we needed to find out both Sam and Darius are healthy, and they just the bumps and bruises they got to work through.
While we're on injuries, Levante and Jamari both got banged up too.
Yeah.
Why don't you just give us some injuries?
It looks good, they both practiced today, so Bellamy was good. Bellamy, we knew, once again, we had a scripted plan for him of his injury. He's gotten stronger every game. He had 11 carries for over 100 yards, and then we were going to kind of let Jarv and Jamari take it over. We did warm up Bellamy at the end again, just in case, but Jarvian was in a roll. When you get a guy like that, it doesn't happen all the time, but when you get a guy that has that look in his eye, and say, hey, do you need a breather? And he's not even breathing hard. The whole 7 overtimes he wasn't even tired.
When you have a workhorse like that, who really, everybody knows that's a guy who gets better with the more carries. How do you get him to that point? It's
hard. It's hard. He also,
yeah.
He gets stronger as he goes. And I would say that about a lot of backs. He punishes guys when they tackle him, and our offensive line was wearing down their front. So as it's a combination of him getting stronger, our O-line getting stronger, and him having success. And so there's other times that we can hand him the ball 30 times, and if he doesn't have success, he's not going to have that same momentum going. Well, when you have the momentum, their quarterback had momentum going. When you have that momentum's a crazy thing now. And once he started hitting a couple, it was like he could not miss, blindfolded. He was impressive, fun to watch. Unfortunately, not fun during the game, but fun to watch it the second time. As a quarterback guy, the second time I enjoyed it. But yeah, once he gets going, we didn't play Bellamy, we didn't play Tuck. Could have, they were ready. But he just had that look in his eye, and that's kind of what, when we get them all going, and you kind of try to find which guy has that knack going for him. The greatest thing is, it's the greatest problem in the world to have, which great player do we want to put in there, So, but it is a problem because you got to make sure that he gets his touches, and that Bellamy gets his touches, and that Jamari gets his touches, So, but both those guys are healthy. They're practicing. I don't know if they'll be cleared to probably Wednesday or Thursday, I think. But once again, nothing major on any of the scans or anything like that we did on Monday. And very fortunate. Same way with Trey Turner. He was running around today. We'll see if he's probably a game time Thursday, Friday thing. But yeah, we came out. I saw Dr. Seitzman leaving the building yesterday, and he was all smiles and said, "Hey, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be," and so that made me smile. When I saw him, and so we're very, very fortunate that it looked pretty bad because people were going down, but none of them were major.
Can you talk about Jarvian in a just historic sense? This is 112 years of football at Western, and he's knocking on the door of the rushing title and just tied, touchdowns. Yep. Probably the most important stat in football. So.
Yeah, the two things that I say about him is, one, he's an unbelievable competitor, and smart and leader and all that stuff. But the one thing that, when you talk about those kind of records, and I broke a ton of them when I played, and Zach just broke a ton of them. The thing I think about Zach and the thing I think about Jarv is they are unbelievably tough. Like you have to play a lot of games and get hit every single time you touch the ball to get to that point. Which is amazing, because there's been some great running backs that play a year and then they get hurt. That longevity of him being able to do what he's done for such a long time is an amazing thing. It's more amazing to me than his speed, his pad level, the toughness, and being able to do that for 4 years straight. There's some luck involved too, but that's the most impressive thing to me, is that he's just a warrior when it comes to. I'm sure in his 4 years he's played with a bum ankle, a bum shoulder, he's healthy right now, but I guarantee he's played with every ailment in America. Same way with Zach Terrell. I'm sure he played. You play 50 college football games, you're not healthy for 50 college football games, And that's the thing I look at, not so much the talent of it, but just what it takes as a person to do that, and it's extremely impressive.
And you say it's by design, and obviously more nuanced than that, but fans might see it, and I'm sure other reporters here too, is why isn't Jarvian start, even though they might see him as the third running back because he comes in, but
we don't even have a depth chart with our running back. We put them all sideways, all three. If it's a three-headed monster, who's starting? Because they're all heads, right? So I mean, I don't even know who gets the first snap. Normally it depends on who the first play is, depending on who fits that play the best, because this is a long season. We're halfway through. We've had scares with 2 of the 3. Jarva had a bump a couple weeks ago that no one knew about, so, I mean, we got to get them all ready. And depending on which type of play we're running, they're all going to, the day of having one guy get 50 carries or 40, 35 carries is kind of come and gone because you can't put all your eggs in one basket, and all of a sudden he gets hurt and you lose your season, So, and they're the most unselfish 3 guys ever, And so we got to switch up our rotation a little bit because of Bellamy's injury, and they've done a great job with that. And yeah, we begin with the end in mind, which is we want to play in a MAC championship game, and in order to do that, we need to think about the next 7 weeks, not just let's try to hand him the ball 60 times and hope he doesn't get hurt getting hit 60 times. You know what I mean? So that's the way we play it, because that's our goal. It is about this Saturday, but it's also about making sure that we keep as many of those guys healthy as we can.
You have bigger rivals than Buffalo, obviously, but a 7 overtime win, I imagine, feels a lot like a rivalry win. You're back home. It's a team that you guys have handled well in Akron. Do you guard against a letdown in any way this week?
I think we have enough to fix. I think we got a chip on our shoulder for defensively. For what they were able to do against us. We made a lot of mistakes, and we turned some good things loose. We gave them too many things. Now, there's contested catches in there and some up throws that it's just like there's nothing you can do. You can't defend a perfect throw. And he made about 3 or 4 or 5 of those. But we also let him turn loose like 3, 4 times. And I know they're embarrassed about that. I mean, the records are great, but to be a defensive player in that record is not great. So I think our guys on defense are definitely ready to get back out there again. Same way offensively, we turned the ball turned it over twice in the first half. Can't do that, or I don't think it would have been that close of a game. So, and the Akron team, they're the same. I mean, they're very similar to when I played. I mean, they are extremely talented, and they just have to put it all together, hold on to the ball, But the talent has always been there. They always have guys that can run. They always have somebody that can rush the passer, and they just got after Ball State pretty good. So I think they're feeling pretty good about themselves. So it'll be a battle. For us, it's just trying to fix all the issues we had and get back out there, because I know we don't feel like that was the type of game that we want to play. Now, we still found a way in the end, but there's a lot to improve on.
Coach, I know you don't want to promote running onto the field, fans running onto the field. And I know that you have a lot going on, but Donnie's sister coming on the field became kind of a moment on social media.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I was blind to the entire thing. I saw Donnie make a play. We've had that play dialed up for weeks now, and it presented itself. I love the call. I love tight ends in general, so I was excited about the play. We hit it. I want to make sure our sideline knew we were going for 1, so I'm screaming at the sideline so they know we got to get our field goal team out there. Turned around. I was wondering why our guys weren't coming off the field as fast, and then I saw someone. I didn't know who it was. Saw the flag, so then all my focus went to the flag, and finally got from the officials that they thought that the person came from our bench area, which would have been a flag. Luckily I convinced whoever the official, whoever it was, came from the stands. They didn't come from here, so he picked it up, which was huge. Because that 15-yard extra point would have been a 30 or actually it's a 20-yard extra point, would have been a 35-yard extra point, and our kicker wasn't rolling at that moment, So then I saw the ending. I saw her walk off, had no clue who it was, what it was. I was so dialed into the next play, and after the game is when I came to the conclusion of I heard it blew up, it went viral, and I guess, in college overtime, they get a chance, we get a chance, then we get a chance, then they get a chance. Because I was told that she thought it was over. It wasn't over. They have another chance. See, they get the ball again. So college football rules are different. I get it. So yeah, I was oblivious to it until after the game, and so yeah, it was kind of funny.
It's all worked out, I know now. But did you talk to Donnie at all about that?
No, I mean, after the game, he was in the bus. I walked by him. I was like, "What? Was that your?" Because I didn't know. I just said, "Was that your sister?" And he said, "Yeah, I think she thought it was over." And he kind of laughed. And I just when I was walking by him sitting on the bus. But yeah, it was all in good. It was all for good reason and good fun. But yeah, I was totally oblivious at the time.
Coach, Josh has really had a really good season so far as a freshman. But he pushed that one, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything that you do with him to help him, so his confidence goes?
Yeah, just support him. I think I did a poor job on the first one. Looking back, I'm trying to be as critical as I can of myself. We got him to where he was going to be able to have fun and try to go get one. Let's get as close as we can and let Josh. He has a strong enough leg. I should have brought him over beforehand and said, hey, I don't expect you to make this. I just kind of want to see if you can. Just go have some fun with it. Don't put pressure on yourself because I don't expect this to go in. We are literally saying, hey, go have some fun and shoot, you might make this thing. Go ahead, go do it. I wish I would have put that in his head, Now the next one I expect him to make, it was a 28-yard or whatever it was. But I think he went in there just like, oh, the team's counting on me, and I talked to him afterwards, and I talked to him again today. He kicked great today. He's going to go through ups and downs in his career that way, And the great thing is the guys had his back. Jarv had his back. Everyone did, And I went and put my arm around him like, hey, just keep your head up, keep swinging. I've never seen anyone hit a home run that didn't swing. So just keep swinging, And he knows that we have all the faith in the world in him. And I asked the team, raise your hand if you don't have faith, and no one rose their hand. So I looked at Josh and I'm like, don't lose faith, man. Just keep swinging, So we have faith in him, but I put him in that long situation without prepping him on just to relax and go have fun with this thing. Don't be a nail biter for whatever 57-yard, whatever I lined him up for. I told him, I said, you're going to kick a 60-yarder. There's going to be an end of a half where we get a turnover or something, and I'm going to say, Josh, go have fun and see if you can make one, because he can. But he has to realize those ones are just kind of like, hey, just go see if you can make it. Don't put all kinds of pressure on yourself. So, that was obviously a little dip in because he'd been so solid, and so I'm excited about his future.
Coach, let's go back to Jarvan after coaching him now.
Yeah.
A couple of months after playing with Robert Sam. How do you compare those two guys?
Oh, Robert. They're very similar in the Jarvan's faster. Scrap wasn't the fastest. Scrap was tough. Scrap I don't really think had like a spin move he was going to go through you whether you liked it or not, And Jarvan has a little bit of that in him too, but not to the same degree, whereas Jarvan likes to spin and he's quick enough to put a move on somebody, whereas Scrap was like Jerome Bettis. Like it was a couple straight lines, and if you happened to be in the way, it was like Frogger. You were going to get run over, And but they're very similar in their physicality. They're not afraid to drop their shoulders and fall forward. I definitely think Jarv is a really special in the pass game. People don't. He has great hands. Phenomenal ball skills. So he hit that screen, and you don't think about throwing the big back in on to catch balls, but he's probably our best, most dynamic guy when it comes to ball skills. So I think their skill set's a little differently, but their mentality of what they mean when they get the ball in their hands is the same. Is that if you get in their way, they're not going to go around you. They're going to go through you,
Coach, we had some issues on defense, but number 6 was real solid as he's done all his career. Can you, not to put you on the spot, or you're not on the spot, but can you tell us a little bit more about Asante Brown?
The biggest thing for him, I think, is they're all starting to understand what we're doing better. We're still not doing as good as we can. Our passing issues in this game were 3 levels. We were not getting to the quarterback. We were not rerouting well enough, and which put the DBs in some really rough spots. When we don't reroute a number 2 receiver on full speed of safety, it's hard. We need to slow them up, get them off their pass. So we have all 3 levels that need to be better. But we stopped their run game. We went into this game saying they are a running team, and they're not going to run against us. And we'll let that backup quarterback beat us. And you know what? He almost did. He had one of the better games I've ever seen a quarterback play. But that was the plan. And we know we can say that stuff when you have guys like Asante. Our linebackers, Asante's the most interesting one because he plays such a unique position that people all over the country and in the NFL want, which is a guy that can play outside the box but also can be a run stopper inside the box. You know what I mean? And those guys are hard to find. They make a lot of money. Because you're either in the box player, but if you can play out the box and then come in and tackle like an in the box linebacker, you are very, very valuable. And he's done an unbelievable job of being that guy. Because that guy, it's all about numbers in the box when it comes to offense. Speaking as an offensive person, And there's going to be 6 in the box. There's going to be 2 linebackers, 4 D linemen, and who's 7? And if your 7th guy can play outside the box and get in and make it 7 in the box, you're going to be pretty good on defense. And we've been phenomenal against the run, and he's one of the main factors of that because he's that cutback player that has to be there because if he's not there, we're in trouble. And I think that's one of the reasons our defense has been able to stop the run. Now, we got to work on the pass, obviously. But what he's been able to do out there in space, which is one of the hardest positions to play, has been unbelievably impressive.
What can you tell us about Akron?
I mean, they're physical. I like their defense. I mean, I watch them. I think their safeties are pretty good. They move their front a lot. I think defense is kind of a bend but don't break. I can't tell you what I'm going to see on defense. We never see people's normal defense. We have not yet, because they play coverage and then they play against us and they load the box, So you kind of watch all their different fronts. You try to figure out which one they're going to play against us because you can't go off the percentages against other people because other people can't run the ball like we can. So it'll be interesting to see what they play. But I think they have some really good players. I think their safeties are pretty dynamic. Offensively, I like their quarterback. He can sling it. Their running back, they're a really good running back. Got hurt a couple weeks ago. I think their backup's pretty good. He's not as talented as their starters was really good. Offensive line's good. They got a couple skill guys and a quarterback that can throw it. Which after watching us last weekend, I'm sure they feel great about it. Which is okay. The rubber's going to meet the road somewhere, but they just like it. They always have speed. They always have. The biggest thing for us is we got to keep them in front of us. And we gotta see if they can stop the run. And that's going to be, if we can run the ball and we can stop the run, we're going to win most games unless a quarterback has a day like this guy had last weekend. And those don't come along. I've been around football a long time and only seen like 3 of them. And you normally lose to that. Luckily we found a way to win against that because he was feeling it.
Coach, can you take us back a few weeks ago to when walk-on Sean Foster found out you'd be shooting a scholarship and talk a little bit about what he's provided so far this season on special teams?
He's been huge, and he's been rotating in the defense. It really goes back to spring when he, he's a 250-pound linebacker, and we're loaded with great linebackers. And I love the kid, works hard. So we asked him to put his hand down and play some DN for us. We didn't have a lot of depth there. Didn't hesitate. Yes, sir. I'm excited about it. Moved there, and all of a sudden you start watching him. He's getting better and better. He's always where he needs to be. He's always at his pad level. He's always, he doesn't have the length. When he goes against a really long guy like Chooks or something, he's going to struggle a little bit. But his speed is amazing, and his effort and his strength, and he's done a lot for us on a kickoff return because people are kicking to him instead of Darius. So he's catching and getting us out to the 45 and the 46, and So it was really easy. I noticed the way he reacted to a position change because that can go multiple ways with kids. And then, when we got into camp, he got himself on a starting unit, and it was fun because we were just in the transition from going from playing against each other to going to scout teams. So I was giving my scout team speech about, the way I know who the future great players are going to be is from the scout team. When you go to the scout team for a year and you work your tail off and you end up being a great player, I know you're going to be a great player when you grow up. It's never failed. Some guys don't ever have to go to the scout team. But the guys that go and work every single day to help our team always end up being great players. So I kind of use that as a segue into, Deshaun was the scout team player of the year last year. And then kind of spun it into a scholarship. So he had no clue. I don't think anyone knew it was coming. And then they all jumped on him, and it was a cool moment. And he was a mess, and we went up and talked afterwards and talked to his mom, and it was a fun moment for our team.
Coach, you mentioned how you rarely see a team space defense because they're all stuffing the box to stop your run. With the improvement John has shown, do you think that eventually you're going to start seeing team space defenses?
I don't know. He's getting better, which is good. We've been doing, that run game helps him a lot, but he's been throwing 23-29 with a 1 throwaway and 2 drops, which is a heck of a day, and he used his feet a couple times when he needed to. We just get our percentages are way off. Normally it's like 80-20, and we get 80-20 the other way. We'll get 80% zone coverage and 80% man and 20% zone coverage. So it's coming to the point where you just don't trust the percentages. They're not going to run something brand new. They're going to run something. They just got to figure out which one they think gives them the best chance to stop our guys in the backfield, and we have to have our shots off of whatever they decide to do. So as he earns more respect, they're still gonna have to pick your poison. We pick our poison on defense too. Like we decide we're gonna stop the run, so we're gonna have to play man-to-man outside, and we're gonna give up some plays here and there. And so they gotta pick and choose. If they decide to sit back, then they shouldn't be shocked if Jarv runs for a ton of yards. And if they want to come up in our face, then they better not be surprised when D gets behind them. So because you can't stop everything every play. That's why it's so hard to be a dominating defense. There's not many. I said to the team, like, hey, how many big play offenses are there? There's not a ton, but there's a good amount. There's like 10, 15, 20 schools that are pretty dynamic offensively. Dominating defense, there's like 3. It's a really hard thing to do. And I think our guys have a chance. Once they figure out what we're doing and have seen it again and again and again, I think we have a chance to be one of those pretty special defenses, no matter what happened last week. I still feel, if you think about the week before, it's one of the best performances I've ever seen. And we're getting to the point where we got to figure out what our normal is, and we're going to find out more this weekend.
Do you expect Sam to play on Saturday?
I think so. It'll be close. It's just comfort level. Just comfort level. Nothing's broken. Nothing's. It's just like bruised. He's bruised up, and it's can he feel comfortable out there? And if he can, he can go. And if he can't, he ran around today pretty good. But he wouldn't get hit today either. So we'll figure that out. But the good thing is it's nothing major. It's just a bruise. We had a lot of bumps and bruises, which was better than a lot of breaks.
Coach, final question. Homecoming, talk about you having played in homecoming environments, been around coaching in homecoming environments, the students, community support of Kalamazoo, that you've experienced and expect to see.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable. This is a different seat for homecoming, because I can tell you, everyone in America thinks I have hotel rooms. I've gotten called by more people for hotel rooms. I don't have any hotel rooms, I don't know why people think I do, but there's no hotel rooms in town, which is a good sign for what it's going to be like on Saturday. But, when we always have our fans, our students, Kalamazoo behind us. They're here all the time, and a ton of our alumni come anyway. But it's great to have a day where we can stop and appreciate what came before us. I told the team this morning, I said, I appreciate every single thing that's happened before me when I got to play here. I'm proud of the bad teams because that helped us make it good. I'm proud of the good teams because that's helping us make it great. I'm proud of the 66 team and 88 team for winning it because it allows us to win it in 2016, and now we get to try to do something in 2017 that's never been done, So we kind of went through the being a part of something bigger than yourself, and some pieces are bigger than others depending on the teams in the history of Western Michigan, but they're all equally important, And so we're going to have a bunch of people back. I'm going to have a bunch of people in front of the team talking to them this week. I know a lot of the colleges use this as a time to give their distinguished alumni awards. So we got a couple distinguished alumni coming back that I'm going to have talk to the team and just be thankful for everything we've been given. This place is unbelievable. The town, the facility we have, the community we have, and the culture we have. So it's a great time to stop. And then our job is still to perform on Saturday. That's what they're all coming to see. So I want to make sure we appreciate what we have. But our job is to go perform for those people on Saturday, and that's what we're planning on doing.
Coming off a 7 overtime game win at Buffalo, just talk a little bit about being part of that experience, that game, that win.
Tiring, for sure. I mean, that's a lot of football right there. 7 overtimes, a lot of football. You're gonna have some bruises and some bumps. But at the same time, it was fun. Be able to play that much football is fun. Not every day you get to go to 7 overtimes. It's most of the time it's 4 quarters. So it was exciting to play with everybody. You had different players come in and play, younger players, older players. Didn't matter what it was. So it was an exciting moment. And then to be able to come out with the W in the 7th overtime was even better. The celebration after was just, man, we stuck in there, came out with the win. Body's a little banged up, but hey, we won. So.
How much mental strength was required after that second or third overtime to know that defense just needs to make one more stop and maybe you get out here with a win?
It was a lot. It was definitely a lot, because, before. 4 quarters. I mean, that's a lot. 60 minutes is a lot, and then going to the first overtime, second overtime. I mean, you have to be mentally sharp. You got to be locked in. I mean, if you don't, I mean, blown coverages and missed tackles, missed assignments. I mean, it can cost you the game. And luckily, we were able to fix that and get another chance. Sometimes you want to break, but you have to tell yourself, hey, I mean, I got to do it for my teammates. I got to do it for my brothers. They'll do it for me. I have to sacrifice. So it just showed the strength that both teams had going to 7 overtimes, the strength that we had mentally.
Something you talk about your senior group. These are guys that you all committed during the 1-11 season. So here you are. I mean, I'm sure as a senior too, you go through things and you're like, well, this is my first practice, and this is going to be your last homecoming. So kind of what's your mindset this week, and how much does it mean to you guys, to your seniors?
It means a lot. Like you said, we're seniors. Me, Caleb, and Spillane at the linebacker position, playing for the last 4 years together. I was just telling Robin, last year it seemed like we were freshmen, and now we're all of a sudden seniors. But to have that last practice in our first homecoming, it's an exciting moment. At the same time, we can look at it. It's kind of sad. It's like, man, college is the best time of your life. You're not gonna be able to play that again. This is our last one. This is our first or last one. So, we look at it as we're gonna give it our best shot. I got you by my side. You got me by your side. We're gonna give it our best shot. And at the end of the day, we're gonna do what we can to help this team, and know that we did the best that we could do.
Asante, as I recall, in the skiing when we showed you played some wide receiver. Then you came here and you played defensive backfield as a safety your first year, and then moved to linebacker. Coach was talking about how valuable you are because you are a cover linebacker, kind of a safety, quasi-safety, but you can play in the box and stop the run. Can you talk about how you've adapted along the ways to fill that role?
Yeah, like you said, I play receiver and then came in as a DB. Basically, and it's like this for everybody. I mean, the coach wants us to play a certain position, we'll sacrifice to play that position. Put me at safety, I play safety. Put me on linebacker, I play a linebacker. And you learn from Caleb Bailey and Robert Spillane and some of the older guys that were there before them. You learn from them, and they brought me along and taught me how to play linebacker. So it wasn't just that I just played. It was them. They taught me how to play linebacker. It was all about, hey, we gotta get you together. And you have younger guys also that they brought along and they helped me as well. It wasn't just I just transaction over and play linebacker. It was the help from both of them that gave me the opportunity to be in the position that I am. So you have to give credit to them to be able to sacrifice some of their time that they could be working on themselves, but they chose to help me, and not to give credit to them because, without them, I wouldn't be a linebacker. I'd probably be a safety still, who knows? So for them to do that, it just shows that the family and the bond that we have with each other and the characters of everybody that's on the team who's willing to sacrifice just for the better cause of the team.
Asante, did you see Donnie's sister come onto the field? And as a player, just your guys' reaction from the team.
I didn't see it right away. I kind of seen her walking away, but it was just, what can you say? It's just like oh wow, didn't think that would happen, but family love, I guess. Just kind of, hey, he scored. She was super excited, ran on the field, gave him a hug. So I'm sure anybody's sister would do that if it's going overtime like that and scoring and maybe thinking the game was over. It's like, oh, we won, run on the field, But it could be bad or good. It depends how you look at it.
Did you give him any stuff afterwards once you guys realized what happened? Or?
Yeah, on the plane ride, we were just like, man, Donnie, man, that's your sister run on the field like that? And we just kind of giggled and laughed and joked around about it. Because at the same time, it was kind of funny, Nobody expected, for a family member to run on the field and give him a hug like that. So it was a fun moment.
Asante, the defense gave up a lot of yards last week, and I'm sure that because I know how much pride you play with and how much pride our defense plays with. How anxious are you to get back on the field against Akron and show that that's not the defense that you play?
We're very anxious, like you said, we kind of gave up a lot of yards in the back end, and Coach Lester hit it on the spot. The linebackers didn't necessarily reroute the best. And making the D-line to get enough pressure. So it's a combined thing. It wasn't just the DB's fault. It was everybody as a whole, as a unit, So coming in this week, we know we have things to work at each position. So we're looking forward to, last week, not necessarily the game that we wanted to play as far as assignment-wise and doing our job and being the disciplines we want to be. So we have something to work on, and we need to put it on film, because at the end of the day, people are going to watch film and evaluate you for your next game. So what you showed on film last week, you kind of buy yourself into the next week on what to expect.
They've been dialing you up on blitzes this year, but can you talk about the difference between Coach Pinkham's defense and Coach Dow's defense?
Yeah, Dow's attack, attack, and Coach Pinkham we're going to have man-to-man, one gap assignment, do your job. I mean, Coach Dow's is do our job too. They're two different coaches, same mentality. You got to stop the run. We got to have good outside coverage with the receivers and DBs. Safety's got to be in the right position to read their keys. It's simple. It's a defense. You just got to do what you're asked to do.
Asante, you guys are 6th overtime. Buffalo just tied it up and going for 2. And you got to kind of dig deep, and Buffalo's quarterback scrambles around, and you make the tackle to stop it from the 2-point conversion, continue the game on. And you guys hold them to a field goal in the 7th overtime. So when we talk about giving up a lot of yards, really defense, it's kind of hard to figure out in that scheme of the game. The defense really came up with 2 huge plays to let the offense win the game with Jarvan going in the 7th overtime.
Yeah, they like you said. We went to 7 overtimes. They had a quarterback who stepped in replace of Tyree Jackson and made plays. Anderson was just stepped in. It wasn't, I got to go in this. Hey, I'm ready. I'm gonna give them their best shot. And you had receivers on the outside who could catch the ball, and he was putting the ball on the money and spots that necessarily the DBs couldn't get to. And going to the overtime. Like you said, we had opportunity when he scrambled on the 2-point conversion, made a tackle. You have to give credit to the D lineman getting pressure on that play and forcing him up. You had Jen Wright also and Caleb Bailey who also were there to make the tackle as well. It wasn't just me to make that tackle. But that particular play, you give the D line credit for getting the pressure and to force him to come out and not necessarily doing what he might not want to scramble that play. Who knows? But the credit has to go to the D line for that one.
Asante, final question. Playing at home is always fun, but there just always seems to be an extra buzz around homecoming. Just kind of talk about the homecoming games or the atmosphere, that you expect at Walter Stadium.
Exciting. It's always good to have the community behind you and support you, and the fans and the alums to come back. With former teammates to come back and talk to you and tell you the stories, when they were here playing, or the fans that were here, like games they remember, that's fun and that's exciting. And we want nothing more to give them that excitement and continue to give them the excitement that they're looking for and that they want. And the support that we have from our community and the members on the staff, bringing their families in and just going with that, give us that extra buzz, like you said, extra buzz, playing at home, it's a home game. We got to protect our house. So, it's exciting and it's going to be fun.